So basically today we have our special guest is going to be Shane with Shane Motivates.
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Yeah, definitely 100% glad to have you, man. So
Thank you, man.
I believe I looked at some of your content online. It looks like you're about 200 something followers. So you've just recently started this kind of journey. What made you do Shane Motivates?
My YouTube channel or just like my whole brand or whatnot?
Whole brand and everything. Give me the whole background story of like what made you do this and like what's your end goal with it.
For sure, for sure. Well, as you know, I'm young. I'm only 22 years of age. I just, God has given me the courage and the confidence to share my faith with other believers or non-believers, and especially kids that's my age. A lot of kids my age don't think how I think, or maybe don't believe in Jesus. So that's what God. God, He gets all the glory. I'm definitely having the courage and the confidence. But my end goal is definitely I want to be a motivational speaker. That's like my end goal right now because I went through a lot of things in my life. So that's like the end goal for right now. Build my brand, reach and encourage so many people in the world. That's really my end goal right now.
Okay, you said you want to be a motivational speaker. I did
Yeah.
watch all your videos too, and I saw that Steve Harvey seems to be a big influence of yours
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Shout out Steve Harvey. Shout out Steve Harvey,
Is
man.
that the one that basically kind of like inspired you to be a motivational speaker, or is there other influences as well?
To be honest, I'm not trying to say didn't nobody inspire me to answer your question. But Steve Harvey, I definitely watched Steve Harvey. He's a powerful man, but he didn't inspire me, to be honest. Didn't nobody inspire me.
Really?
Yeah.
So then what caused this big motivation to do like Shane Motivates? Was it like something that impacted your life that was like, I need to give back and guide other people? Or
Well, yes, like the journey I'm on right now, the journey I went through, I got so much wisdom from it at a young age. So I just want to share my wisdom and my knowledge to others and just let people know there's hopes out there.
okay. And so again, we're going to dive into a little bit more of like the journalistic side of what I've looked into your
For sure.
profile and your experience, because
For sure.
it looks like what I noticed is that there was this pivotal like car accident incident that kind of made this transition where you like had a near death experience.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I'll never forget that day. Never.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it was like July 22nd of
Yeah.
2025. Is that correct?
I think it was 2023. So
Okay.
I was 18. I'm 22 now, so it was a couple years ago. But I never forget that day because I was by myself. So yeah, bad. It was a bad day. Bad day.
Would you mind going through the details of that event and what unraveled and like the whole thing from the beginning? Like imagine you're telling this story to, a police officer or something like that, and you need all the details because everybody wants to get the tea.
Yeah, they do. They do. I got you. Well, I was leaving. It was midnight, around 12 p.m., 1 a.m. I was leaving a particular girl I was talking to house at the time. I was leaving her house. I was still staying with my mother at the time. Um, So my mom, she called me. I have to reach. I got to get home before the curfew. I'm speeding. I'm going like 100 miles per hour. I had a blue Impala. It was a '06, '07. I had a blue Impala. I'm speeding. She called me. Saying, "Where you at? Where you at?" I had to reach home so I can beat the curfew. Speeding, had no business doing what I was doing. I hit the brakes on my car. My car was kind of rusty, kind of old. Hit the brakes, did a whole 360 on the express lane. Hit the civil rail on the
Mhm.
express lane, and that's pretty much what happened, man.
Okay. And so like can you walk us through like when you hit that rail, did you like you said you did 360, correct? Like
Yeah,
what was going through your
360.
yeah, so what was going through your head while you're spinning that 360?
I don't know if you know if people tell you like before you die, your life like everything was like in slow mo. I don't know if you ever heard that before, but my whole
Yeah.
life was like everything was in slow mo. Like I was like, oh my gosh, to be honest, I thought I was gonna die, man. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna die, and the things I was doing that night, I had no business doing. So I just thank God for His grace, man, for real. But it was 360, man. Hit the civil rail. It was a crazy, crazy experience, and I was by myself. I was the only one in the car. Thank God.
Mhm. And you have no recollection of like your thoughts, like when you're thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss my mom," or like, "Oh, I can control the wheel," or like, can you walk us through what that experience was going 360 and thinking that your life was gonna end?
That's a great question. The thoughts I was thinking was like, oh, I messed up. I was speeding, like I mentioned before, I was speeding. The thoughts that was just going through my head, felt like I just messed up. Like I mentioned before, I was doing things I hadn't been doing that night. But yeah, definitely, my mom. To be honest, my mom didn't pop up in my head. It was just like, man, I thought I was gonna die. Like, bro, I thought I was gonna die, man. Everything happened so fast, and especially me doing the 360, then hitting the civil rail on the expressway. Thank God it didn't hit my side, but it hit the passenger side. And that night, the girl I was talking to that night, she was gonna drive with me to home. Thank God she didn't. because the
Mhm.
car accident hit the passenger side. So
And so whenever the car came to, like, a full stop, like, what was the next thing that how everything unraveled? Did you, like, have airbags go off and there's, like, a dusty smoke? Was there, like, the engine on fire? Like, how did everything go down? Did you climb out the window?
everything, the whole car was crumbled. Airbags did deploy. I did not climb out the window. Just opened the door, hopped out, got scratches on my leg. Everything was just so fast because that was my first car accident ever by myself. So everything was just so fast. Called my peoples, called the ambulance. That's pretty much it, man.
Okay. And
Very,
then
very bad day for me. I never forget that day.
no, for sure, and I really appreciate you for sharing.
Are you good, man?
But the other thing too, man, is when you got out of the vehicle, and I believe I went and watched your video I reviewed, that you said, like, you hunched over and you're kinda, like, on grabbing your knees and kinda, like, in shock, everything, like and I was just curious, with that being said, did you have any pain on your body anywhere, or did you walk out, like, without a just you said some scratches, but
Thank God I didn't. All I had was a scratch when I hopped out the car. I think I fractured or from my wrist. I'm not sure. It was 3 years ago, so I think I fractured my wrist. That's pretty much
you
it.
didn't get X-rays or get that checked out or anything?
Now I didn't even go to the ambulance that night. I just wanted to go home. I was so in shock. I was sad, weary, so I just wanted to go home that night. I ain't go to
Okay.
the ambulance or nothing.
And when I also researched some of your content as well and your story, there was apparently some strange man that just kind of appeared and then disappeared.
Oh, hey, how you know that?
Brother, I'm a journalist. Like I do my research.
No, man,
I'm professional, brother. I'm a professional.
did I say that? Dude came out of nowhere, literally. He came out of nowhere, check up on me. You know, I called my mom, called my sister, and let me tell you, chat. When everybody came, when the police came, ambulance came, family came, he disappeared. He had no car, no vehicle. He had no bike, no nothing. He when I got in the car accident that night, he came out of nowhere to check up on me. That had to be nobody but an angel. Even my mom said it. Like when I look up, he disappeared. I promise to you, chat. It's crazy because I can't even remember the dude face. I it's when I think on it, it really just God is amazing. It really just it's crazy. Like I can't remember his face. I just know that was an angel. He checked up on me. He walked over to me, checked up on me. I didn't get his name or nothing. I looked up because I'm kneeling down like this. I just got in the car accident. I looked up. He disappeared. But yes, once I hopped out the car, this man, you can believe me, you don't have to believe me. I promise you, that was an angel from God. Don't nobody have to believe me.
Hmm.
I can't tell you to this day, I couldn't even recognize his face. Like I can't tell you how he was looking. All I can remember is he was black.
Hmm.
He had no vehicle, no bicycle. Mind you, I'm on the expressway, so where he came from.
Hmm.
Where he came from. And when I looked up, he asked me, I know it was a man, he asked me was I okay. I wasn't paying attention because I was on the phone with my parents at the time. He asked me was I okay. Once my parents came, he vanished out of nowhere. I promise to you, like you don't have to believe me. This is a true story. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about this. It was crazy. I can't tell you. To this day I could not tell you how this man looked. I just know he was black. Mind you, no
Okay.
vehicle, no bicycle. He came out of nowhere. I was on the side of the road, expressway. He came out of nowhere. So I feel like
And,
100% that was an angel from God. 100%.
and did he happen to say anything or drop any wisdom or say anything that at all? Or
All he asked me was like he was just checking up on me. He was asking me like, "Am I okay or not?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm all right." Pretty much.
gotcha. And again, like I'm not judging by any means. I love to hear your
Yes,
perspective, and there's plenty of
yes.
people that say they've seen ghosts or angels and stuff like that. So no judgment.
No,
I just
no,
want to
no,
hear your story.
hey, he wasn't no ghost. That was an angel for sure, brother. That wasn't no ghost.
No, gotcha. I'm just talking about for the other audience that
Yeah,
watches this.
yeah,
You know,
for
like,
sure. Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I'm open minded. I just want to hear your story.
You guys know I had a Charger, black Charger, Dodge Charger, nice vehicle. I had a job, had a little money in my pocket, whatnot. But I lost all that.
So there's another thing that I was trying to understand when I watched some of the content too. Is like there's a story where you said you kind of like lost everything, and it was like you said you had a charger, you lost a job, you had credit card debt. Was that before the accident or after it?
That was after, brother. I got that Charger last year in May. So that was all the them events that happened after.
Okay. And so this was after your accident, like kind of like no offense, but like coming to Jesus moment, basically, right?
100%, yeah, 100%. This happened recently. I'm 22. All this stuff happened like last year. I lost everything last year, brother.
For sure. And I just wanted to know, like, can you do you mind sharing, going to depth of like how all this unraveled with like, what made you get the charger? Was it just a poor choice? And now you like you learn from it, and then you have any advice for other people that are making decisions like that, and like why you chose to get an expensive car that may be out of your means or whatever?
Yeah, 100%. So after I got in the car accident, times were going by. I didn't have a vehicle for 2 years. So once I got, I was working at a dealership called Nimnik Chevrolet. I was a detailer.
Mm,
So every day I used to call the bank trying to get approved for a car loan. Every day, every day, every day, every day, trying to get approved for a car loan. So one day the lady called me and told me I got approved for I could put business out there, $20,000 car loan. The car was only 20K. So I was excited. So I was so eager. So yeah, I definitely made a poor choice. I was so eager and excited to get a vehicle because mind you, I didn't have a vehicle for 2 years prior to
mhm.
getting me a Charger. So yeah, that was definitely a poor choice because I could have got like a better car or a different car with less insurance or whatnot. Because these days, once you get a sporty car or whatnot, the insurance people tax you because I was young. But that was definitely a poor choice. But yeah, I lost that vehicle in October of last year.
Right, and I believe you said
Due
they
to
got
lack of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I believe you said they got repossessed is what your story told us
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, can you
Yeah, I
tell us
did.
how that happened? Did you, like, go outside and your car was just missing, or what happened with that situation?
Man, I'll never forget that day also, man. I was crying that night. So I was getting up for work, got up around like 6 a.m., getting up for work. So if you people out there who have a charger, you can start your charger with your key fob from the
Mhm.
house. So I went to start my car. I didn't hear the beep. I didn't hear anything. I went to start it again. And then I look outside the window, it wasn't there. I was in shock. I was open the garage, car wasn't there. I thought somebody stole it, to be honest. I thought somebody
Mm.
stole it because I ain't hear no tow truck, anything like that. But that day I was crying, man. I was very, very in shock as well. I was very embarrassed. You could say that. Car tow in front of everybody. I was very embarrassed and sad that day. 100%. But a lesson learned.
Yeah,
Lesson learned, man.
and so if you don't mind me asking too, like, did you have anybody
I
that
don't know how
told you
you know
that
all this, man.
because I'm a professional, brother,
Now
I'm
you
telling
good,
you.
man. You good. I love it. You good. This is crazy.
Yeah, dude, I mean, you gotta do it right. If you wanna be somebody and do something great, you gotta do it like you mean it?
For sure, man.
And so when it came to the whole car repossession thing like that, did anybody say, "I told you so"? Did you have mentors or parents that told you not to go and get that expensive car and you just did whatever you wanted? Or, like, can you explain that process?
Funny thing about it, I was calling once I got the vehicle, I was calling multiple insurance people, and those are the ones who were telling me, "Son, you don't need that car." They barely didn't know me, and I felt like that was God warning me before I got that car. It was people at my job saying, "Don't get that car. Don't get it. Get something else. Get it accurate." Me being hard head, I still got the car. It was people who didn't even know me telling me not to get the vehicle. But when that day happened, ain't nobody tell me I told you so. I was by myself. My sister, shout out to my sister, she the one who had like really comfort me because I really don't cry in front of like my family and whatnot, but I was crying that night. So shout out to my sister, man, for sure.
Sure, and just to resonate on that too, is like you talked about earlier that you, are more open with your feelings and, admitted that you cry and stuff like that.
Oh,
Is that
absolutely. I love
is
crying.
is that something that you think needs to be more normalized nowadays?
Yeah, especially for men. I love crying. I love crying, man. Crying is good for the soul, man. I love crying. Back in the day, I didn't. I never used to share my emotions and like that, but I love crying now. There's nothing wrong with crying.
Do you think you didn't share your emotions because it had a negative stigma towards men, like you're weak or something like that? Or what made you have the shift that crying is okay?
um, like I mentioned before, crying is good for the soul, but back in the day, why I didn't want to share my emotions, I was probably afraid what people would say or think about me. I could say that 100%.
Well, that's why I was just wondering because, like, I mean, for you to be like thinking that it's a therapeutic type of thing and it gives you
Yeah.
clarity and stuff like that,
Hmm.
like, what would you say to? Because again, you're 22, man, so
Yeah,
you're still fairly
22.
young. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what would you say to a younger kid that says like, crying is for simps or fucking uh, whatever, something like that?
I mean, it's not. You can't hold all that anger in. If you hold all that anger, you probably lash out on someone else who don't need to, feel or hear that anger. So crying, like I said, crying is good for the soul. After I get done crying, I feel way much better.
Mm.
Way much better.
And then when did that pivotal shift happen to where you were like, "Oh, crying is relief"? Did your mother influence you and tell you that? Did you find it online, or did you just say, "Hey, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it today"?
Myself, did it myself.
And
Crying on the
how
couch. I used to cry in my car when I had my charger. Felt so much better. Put on a little gospel music and just cry. Driving.
I
Feel so much
gotcha.
better. The company you keeps defines you. you are who you hang around with, family. 100%. Point blank. Period. If you hang around with a sinner, you're gonna be a sinner. If you hang around with someone who parties, you're gonna end up partying. If you hang around someone who's smoking, you're gonna end up smoking.
One of the videos I really did like about that you had, and that put into my own life at this point in time, is you are what you surround yourself. So the kind of people you put yourself around can make or break you, essentially.
Yes, 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 yes. When I was in the world, when I was 18, when I had the Honda, I was surrounding myself around people who, I don't want to say the word, but yeah, you're right, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you share kind of like how you noticed like that previous group was like influence you in a negative type of way, and then how now you associate yourself now with like what kind of people that has been more positive? Do you have like mentors that are older, or do you have like a church group, or do you have like just some sort of friends that you've started transitioning to have a different state of mind?
I mean, for sure. I mean, I don't have friends right now, to be honest. I mean, I have like brothers and sisters, but shout out to my pastor. I really look up to my pastor. I've been going to his church since I was about 10 or 11. He got very, very good wisdom, a lot of wisdom. So what he be taking, definitely be writing stuff, writing things down. But the surroundings, the environment I was in when I was a kid was definitely, partying, the smoking, the drinking. Had no business being there, but I can say this about me. I definitely was a follower. I can say that for me, 100%. When I was in school, I was a follower. I was very insecure around myself too, so I definitely was a follower back then. But the surroundings I was in was definitely bad for my life. I didn't know it back then because I was young, but now I know.
And so you said that you were a follower back then, and like,
Was
yeah, if you were a follower, why do you think you were a follower versus being a leader or someone that kind of sets trends and stuff like that? Was it like your upbringing that you had like lack of confidence or something like that? Can you tell your story on that side?
I mean, yeah, once you're a kid, once you see, something, once you see someone doing something that you like, you're gonna do it. Yeah, I definitely lacked confidence when I was a kid. If you didn't know, I was definitely fat back in my days. I was definitely fat. Um, I had my teeth was messed up back then, but I got braces now. But I definitely lacked confidence back then, so that's probably why I was a follower, if you could say that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, to answer your question.
Did you deal with like a lot of bullyings and stuff like that, or no?
I mean, I got picked on. You know how high school is. You get
Yeah.
picked on and whatnot. Talk about my teeth. I definitely got when I was in elementary school. People would definitely talk about my weight because I definitely was a little fat and chubby back then. But thank God, I lost it all. Lost all
Yeah,
the.
but and just to let you know, I was in the same boat. I've actually definitely had like overweight. I had rosy red cheeks, chili bowl haircut. I was eating like chocolate chip pop tarts for breakfast with like
Mm,
two like Minute Maid drinks, and then
mm.
like a bunch of M&M packets. Like, trust me, I was right there with you, brother. So I completely understand that.
Yeah, I had to change. I didn't like that about myself. I didn't like about being overweighted. That's not a good look. No offense out there. I'm just talking about for me, like because
No,
I was eating things I had no business eating.
and so like once you had the car accident, life or death experience, then you had all the like the things taken away from you.
Yeah, it's
What
crazy.
what what was your mindset after that? Was it like, okay, I'm gonna was because were you doing the content during this time, or was it after all that
No,
you're
I
just like,
didn't. No, I didn't start. So I haven't. I didn't start like my TikTok and all this like last year when I was 18. When I had the Honda and all that, I didn't do none of this. All this, mind you, I was 18. I ain't starting none of this when I was like 21, 22. So I ain't have none of this. Like, I had TikTok, but I wasn't using it for the right reason. If that makes sense. I had Instagram, but I wasn't using it for the right reason. So I ain't started none of this since till about last year or 2 years ago when I was like 20, 21, 22.
gotcha? And have you had like positive feedback from like family and friends, or like how do you feel like strangers online when they comment to your stuff? Do you feel like it's trolls or mainly
Oh yeah,
positive,
yeah,
or
yeah. Like I mentioned before, man. Shout out to the trolls, man. They gonna talk to people the non-believers, the people who don't believe in Jesus. I still love them. They gonna talk. They gonna troll. To my family members, yes. My mom, she be checking in on my content or whatnot. Shout out to my mom, big supporter. My brothers, my sisters, they be watching me. Kind of
okay?
inspiration for them. So that's all glory be to God. So
Gotcha. And so what's
yeah.
the end goal with Shane Motivates? Is it going to be like you're hoping to have your own clothing brand assigned with this where it has like, Bible verses on it, or like some sort of motivational quotes? Or are you trying to do just like collaborations, kind of like this type of thing? Like, or you just, what is your vision for Shane Motivates in the next 5 years?
My main goal to make these videos, share my faith and hopefully they can see it and, be inspired by it and let them know that, there's hope out there. It's Jesus Christ. So that's the main reason why I make these videos. because a lot
Mhm.
of kids my age are afraid to come out on the internet and share their faith because of what people might say or think about them, but they're gonna talk regardless. So you gotta overlook the people, man. Overlook the trolls, overlook the haters. But my end goal, like I mentioned before, man, just to be whatever God want me to be, man. Best version of myself. So wherever He lead me, I'm okay with that.